Hey bros, what's going on? It's Broski in here. We're back at it again with the Destiny video. Today's Destiny video is going to be a little bit different than usual. Today I'm going to be going over why I still play Destiny. It's probably one of the most popular questions I have on my stream. Hey Broski, I know with Destiny 2 being on the downward slope right now, why do you still play Destiny? What are the things you like about it, and what do you think could make the game better? So I figured I would, write some of this stuff down, things that, that I think the Destiny and Bungie do right, and things that I think that they could improve upon, and things I just don't like at all. So first, I just want to start off with saying, to me, I mean, Destiny is and will continue to be a game that's for fun, and a game that you have fun with friends. Even if you don't have any friends or whatever to play with, you're probably going to make some friends with the game. Just the way the game is, you go on the strikes, you're in the tower, and, you got people message you all the time, like wanting to do strikes or wanting to you try to get into a raid with you, or whatever. It's just, it's just a super friendly community. From what I've built from in D1, going even through D2, still to this day, D2 is still very friendly, and it's very easy to make friends to play with. I think that's one of the main things that make Destiny so popular is even if you're playing by yourself, you still can have fun. But with friends, I mean, games like this are just so much better. It's a casual, have fun with friends kind of game. That's why I've always told people on my channel, I always think of Destiny as being like a super casual, have fun with friends kind of game. And what I mean by that is it's like anybody can come in and play and at least be decent to good and have a lot of fun, especially talking, banter, and things like that with friends. And that's one thing that made Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 so appealing to me as a content creator. I love the interaction with people, obviously, and I loved helping other people so much that Destiny just brought me in, and not just that. On top of that was obviously the addicting gameplay that goes with Destiny. The game itself is more than just you or me. To me, it's over the years, it's been more about the friendships and the community that we've all brought together and made such huge impacts. Not only with the St. Jude's every year with Guardian Con and other things like that. It's just so many other. I mean, I've raised money for JDRF, which is Junior Diabetes Research Foundation. Obviously, I'm a type 1 diabetic. And it's been so many other ones that people have done over the years. Do with veterans and do with cancer research, kids, helping the homeless, all kinds of things, man. The game is just more than just the game, almost. If that's right to say, the game itself is like I said, at the end of the day, is a fun fun casual have fun with friends kind of game. And all in all, that's what made Destiny to me. So I think that's one reason why I still love Destiny, because at its core, it's still a have fun with friends kind of game, even though some of those things that were in D1 that made it so much more fun are kind of gone now or peeled back a little bit. That I think that's one reason why I still have fun with Destiny, and one things I love about Destiny. The second is the gun feel of the game, the feel of the movement, the feel. Obviously, the movement speed's down a little bit over D1, but still the movement with the guns and just running around, popping enemies in PvE or PvP. It's still a fun, addicting thing to do. Just the feel and the look of the game. It brings you in and it sucks you in. Two is really, this right here is probably one of the bigger things, even over D1, was the surroundings of the game. The art of Destiny, and some of the best I've ever seen, to be honest. The art in the game is amazing. You go to when you first got into Nexus and you've seen the luscious, like the big red forest of trees and the big fields, and the Curse of Osiris, with on Nessus and in Mercury. Just so it's so, I don't know. It just brings you into the game. It almost makes you feel like you're there. Just the colors just pop and everything's just so beautiful. Even in the EDZ and the tunnels of the EDZ or anywhere else in the game, Titan, anywhere game's just beautiful. I think it's one reason. It's one of the things I've loved about Destiny is the environment. It just brings you into the game. I think it does. I think it does that better than most games that I've ever seen or played. It's one of the big things that had Bungie had going forward in Destiny. The second thing I loved about the game D2 was they brought in the lost sectors. Lost sectors added a interesting thing to just going out in about inside the public events they had in D1. They had public events in D2, but now they also brought in the lost sectors. And I thought that lost sectors are super cool. They're super fun, and they could have built so much more onto the lost sectors. I felt like though, maybe like at least like maybe like a one or two like main lost sectors in within each world or something like that had like a main boss. Like right now the lost sectors themselves had like those mini bosses in there. Obviously you take that down, open loot chests. Well, it'd be awesome if they would have made like one or two areas inside of it, not like a raid, but like like a super mini raid kind of thing, where you had to have at least 3 people in your fire team to go do. I thought something like that would be super awesome. They could have built upon the lost sectors, and I think they still can build upon the lost sectors. To something like that would be super awesome. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about that idea. I would love to have like a main lost sector per I'm saying one or two, but hopefully at least one main lost sector per planet. Like EDZ or Mars or Mercury or Nexus or IO. It'd be super awesome to have a main lost sector that you had to have 3 people in. It was almost like almost kind of like a small little mini kind of raid kind of thing. It'd take you like 10-15 minutes to do with your buds. It'd be super cool. I thought that'd be super awesome to add into the lost sectors. I think they could have built upon lost sectors so much more. One of the I think the main thing that got me into D1 or got me to love the game so much in D1 was just helping other people. I had over 1,500 raid helps. I helped almost 1,000 people to the lighthouse. That's what brought D1 so much love and feels to me, was not only getting my loot, but helping other people get loot. I've helped anywhere from 6-7-year-old kids get through the raid in D1. I know some of you guys that's been in the channel remember the young 7-year-old we got back in the Taken King raid, through the raid. So happy, he was crying on stream, and it's just an awesome thing, to help other people. Anywhere from I've even done helps in D1 with the deaf people, that were people that somebody was deaf and things like that. It's just those kind of things right there is what I think, if I look back on D1, was helping other people and seeing other people get so happy and so excited about getting that loot or making it flawless for the first time in trials and getting to the lighthouse or beating the raid for the first time and just freaking out. Like, I think that right there meant more to me, and I got more happy and excited about that than I did when I first beat the raid. That's one thing that I still love about D2, and I still do raid helps sometimes and try to help some people when I can. Obviously with me, I don't play D2 as much as I do D1, and I try to diversify myself a little bit, but I still play D2 quite a bit, usually 2 or 3 hours a day, probably somewhere around in there, maybe even a little more sometimes. I love helping people. That's one thing that still is in D2. The only bad thing about that is that the excitement of doing the D2 raids or trials isn't just there because the loot is not there. I don't feel like people get as excited anymore. There's some people's drive is to not do it anymore. Put into this perspective of doing the prestige raid right now. Prestige raid, there's no reason to do prestige raid because the benefits are so minimum that there's no reason to do it. In D1, you want to do it because that right there will get you the best loot, got you the best armor, the best weapons. The same thing with Trials of Osiris. Now you don't have to do those things. It's simple as going to a kiosk and getting those weapons, which like I said, I've never been a big fan of, but I'm not going to hate on those things. But I wish the loot system and the loot were more worth doing those things, doing the raid or doing trials. I wish the loot was there to make you want to go grind, which we don't have right now. I guess right now I'm just gonna switch over to some things that I think I don't really like about D2. Things that they could hopefully strive to make better. Because I don't think, like the token system perhaps, and a lot of people don't like the token system. I think the token system's okay if the token system was more complementary to what the loot system was. They need to build upon that. It should be complementary. Right now the loot, the tokens are pretty much your main focus of the game, and I just don't think that should be the main focus of you getting rewards. In D1, I got so excited for the Fatebringer to drop, or the Gjallarhorn, but now it's like, well, I'll just go to the, I'm probably not going to get in the raid, but I'll just go turn my tokens in and get it at the end for my tokens. Like the excitement of seeing that drop, it just isn't there anymore. Once you got that weapon from the token vendor, it's like, yo, I got the weapon from the token vendor. Like, you're happy you got it, and you're kind of excited that you got it, but you're not like super hyped like you were in the raid when it dropped. Like, you were like, yeah. I remember my first time I got the Fatebringer, I was going crazy. And if I would have got it from a token vendor, a Fatebringer from a token vendor in D1, I would have been excited and happy, but I wouldn't have been near as excited as I was in D2. I mean, as I was in D1 when it dropped from the raid. So I think they need to, make the token system. They don't have to get rid of the token system. They just need to make the token system. Like I said, it shouldn't be the primary source of drops. It should be the secondary source, or maybe the third source of getting drops. Something they can hopefully make the game better with. And that leads into the loot and the game of the grind. Right now, the grind isn't worth the loot. If you know what I'm saying, if you get what I'm coming at, like the weapons. There's so many. All these weapons are almost all the same. The armor's pretty much all the same, and it sucks getting a bunch of mobility armor when the mobility means so little in D2 now. If everybody knows you want to get the survivalist suit because that's what you want in PvE and PvP, so why not have more of those things out there? The loot and the grind just don't match up. Same thing for grinding with the mastery weapons. I get some people are going to say, well, they brought in the mastery weapons and soon to come master armor, but it isn't meaningful grind. The meaningful grind with mastery weapons and mastery armor, they're so minimal. The margins are, you're almost thinking, well, this probably should have came out when the game came out itself, because it's just so minimal. It's like you go out and you might get like 1 or 2 mastery weapons after you gain for 6 or 7 hours, and you break them down, you get 2 mastery cores. At this point, I need to up that mastery core drop to like 3 when you shred it, because the mastery core literally does hardly anything to your weapon. You create orbs, which is awesome, and you got exotics that are so meaningless that people are literally just using the mastery weapons because at least they create orbs, and 99% of the exotics are not even exotic weapons. You're like, why is this even an exotic weapon? You know what I mean? That's one thing they need to build upon right there, is to make a more, not just a more grind, but a more meaningful grind. Like, I want to go grind, but I want to grind for things that are awesome, like the swords in D2. In D1. Going and grinding for those were super fun. They were meaningful because those swords were awesome. Dart Drinker, I love spinning around, man. Around and around and around and around. On the end raids and things like that. I use Dart Drinker like it was nobody's business all the time. I love the Dart Drinker. Like grinds. I just want meaningful grind back, not grinding for some mastery weapon or master armor. That system needs to be improved upon. Like I said, I still think that system probably should have came out when the game came out. I think they just wasn't ready all the way yet, so they brought it in second. At the end of the day, we just need a more meaningful grind. The next thing is like is just a weapon system. The weapon system right now in D2 is just so bland, and and it makes you think like what were they thinking when they were like, let's just put you know, two primaries. Just put two primaries out there. Like nobody in D, I never heard anybody in D1 say, we need to take away your special and snipers or your fusion rifles and whatever else and put them in your and put them in like the slot down there with rockets. You know what I mean? Like this doesn't make sense. Having two primaries. Nope. Everybody. And I get that some streamers or some of the community was like, we want more primary gameplay, but they didn't mean we want two primaries. I never heard anybody say take away the snipers and shotguns. I always heard make primaries more powerful. You know what I mean? Make primaries more powerful. I just don't know like who thought. I don't know what to say to whoever thought that, you know, putting two primaries up there, one primary elemental and one primary kinetic. I just don't know who made that system. It's just bland, and it's not fun for PvP, and it's definitely not fun for PvE, especially if you try to go do any of the like heroic events or heroic stuff, because literally you're just sitting there chiseling away at bosses, and that just makes for this super boring gameplay in PvE and PvP. You know, if you go play, I went and played PvP D1 last night, had a blast, got so many snipe kills, and that's what kept me going in PvP in D1. Getting those multi kills, getting those crazy, you know, 1v3s or 2v3s in D1 and D2. It's just so rare to do that anymore, just because the opportunity hardly presents itself, because you're just got two primaries sitting there chiseling away at people. The only time you get to do it is if you have the power weapon ammo, if you know, after you fought your 4 teammates to try to get the 1 brick. You know what I mean? I think anybody out there can pretty much, hopefully, agrees with me on that end. They need to rework the weapon slots right now. They just have to rework them. Something has to give. Something has to give somewhere. At the end of the day, I think once they fix the primary and secondary slot issue, hopefully, I'm hoping they bring, you know, snipers and shotguns up to the par. I'm hoping they do. We'll see though. Like I said, I'm not gonna put all my faith into it. But I'm hoping they bring those back up, because, like I said, that's what made Destiny 2 or Destiny in itself, you know, super fun. You had all those crazy gameplays, and you could be you can make your own, you know, you had your own personality in the game. Not everybody was doing the exact same thing all the time anyway. Obviously, there was those guns that were like super OP that everybody was using. You couldn't blame everybody for using those super OP guns. It's just how it works. It's how video games are. There's always that, you know, if you get that one weapon that's awesome, people are going to, you know, go at it like crazy. At the end of the day, though, Destiny 2, a reason why I still play Destiny 2 is because I love the overall game. I love the community. I love helping other people, and it's still a fun game, and it's an okay, good game. But the game could be so much better. The game could be an amazing, beautiful, you know, top tier, top 3 game if it wanted to be. Right now, the game, I definitely think the game could be there. They just have to make those few changes here and there that can make or break the game. And I think we'll see a better overall PvE game come September, or September, October, you know, fall area. I think we'll see a better overall PvE game in Destiny 2, but I'm still hesitant about the PvP game in Destiny 2, because if they don't change those, I just don't see it happen. If they don't change those weapon slots around a little bit, and make snipers be able to be used a little bit differently, and shotguns used a little bit differently, you're not going to see that diversity in PvP. It's just going to be more of the same boring, you know, stale gameplay that's just not fun to watch, and it's you know, on the borderline of, like, you know, pretty stale to even play. Destiny 2 PvP right now is just boring at its finest. There's nothing you can say or nothing you can do to say against that. Like I said, the PvP game could get a lot better. I'm hoping it does between now and the fall. But I definitely think PvE is on the right tracks to get a lot better. We just got to see where Bungie takes us in the future with Destiny 2. I hope you guys liked this video. If you guys did, make sure you guys drop a like. make sure you guys drop a share and leave a comment down below what you guys think Destiny 2 could do or Bungie could do to make this game even better and keep going. Let me know if you guys disagreed with something I said. Just let me know, guys. Thanks so much for coming in and hanging out and being a part of my channel and being a part of the Destiny community. If you guys don't know, I stream over at twitch.tv/Broski. I would love to see you guys there. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, bros.